Now, a major search operation is underway after the TV doctor Dr Mosley vanished during a hike on a Greek island.
Yes, police fear the 67-year-old may have slipped and fallen whilst walking on St Nicholas Beach 2 days ago.
Well, his wife raised the alarm after he failed to return home.
Well, we're now joined by former head of a missing persons unit, Mike Neville, who better to talk to. Mike, how will the police be approaching this then?
Well, they will no doubt have declared this a critical incident. You've got a man who's 67 years old, who's now been missing for 2 days in extraordinary heat. I've got a friend who's over in Turkey, very nearby, because Symi, of course, is more close to Turkey than it is mainland Greece. The heat is incredible. And so the police will be treating this as a really serious incident. As we've seen, they've deployed things like helicopters. They've got drones now over from Athens. There'll be a sea search. There's already been checks of CCTV. Witnesses will be questioned. One of the things that's tragic here, though, is, of course, that Dr Mosley had a mobile phone, but he had left that in his room. Now, some people might think this is suspicious, but, of course, a 67-year-old doesn't treat their phone like a 17-year-old. You know, it's not important to people who are 67, but phones, of course, would be the greatest thing, because that's what could really help the authorities to find him.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to sort of go down the sort of worst-case scenario here, Mike, but, I mean, if he has, as some are suggesting, fallen off a cliff or what have you, I mean, the tragedy would seem to be not only his loss, but the fact that actually answers may be very hard to come by.
You're absolutely right there, because the island as well is closer. It's a few miles off the coast of Turkey. It's far closer to Turkey than it is mainland Greece. And so there'll have to be some kind of liaison between the Greek and Turkish authorities regarding the sea search, because that will be, as you say, one of the theories. Because when you look at these cases, there's often two possibilities: that somebody's decided to go missing, or that something has happened to them, an accident, they've fallen ill or something like that. With Symi, it's so remote. You have to get ferries from Athens or from Rhodes. You can't simply just leave there. It'd be very, very difficult. So I think we can rule out that. It's the idea that he's maybe had a heart attack, he's fallen, or there's snakes on the island, and we can only hope that he's still all right and that the search teams will find him.
Tell us a bit about what this is like for the family involved. I can't imagine how much stress, panic, worry must go through the heads of family members when they just don't know where their loved one is.
This is the tragedy, and what the police would do if they follow in UK procedures, and they do seem to be being very professional, they would appoint a family liaison officer who would be the conduit between the family and the senior police officer who's investigating it, so they can be updated absolutely all the time. They can be told what the police are doing, because all the police can do is try and alleviate the worries. But, of course, it's just a very tragic situation, and nothing can be said that's going to make it right until you say, we found him and he's alive.
At what point, especially under these sort of weather conditions, Mike, are they likely to call it quits, do we think?
Well, I don't think they'll call it quits. They're saying they're going to carry on for at least 5 days. You never know how long somebody can survive for. Did he have water? Has he got some food? He's obviously a doctor, so he knows how to, you know, we see the most doctors treat themselves in the most dreadful situations after things like helicopter crashes and things like that. So he's the best person to be treating himself. So I think they'll really try to find. No one likes a complete mystery, so there'll be every effort made to find him.
OK, Mike Neville, really good to see you.